13th in the championship. The takeover happened, as I said it would. People will be... Oh, when have we got Leeds? Now then, people, welcome back to the Just Show Football Show. Apologies for being late there. We were just having a nice little chinwag, just as we do. So yeah, big up. You haven't missed anything though. We're keeping the good stuff for when we're live. Please do smash a like on this video. There's 225 of you already here, so please do smash a like on the video. Make sure you subscribe to everyone's respective channels as well. Get your comments in. We're going to get a lot of audience participation tonight as much as possible. So get your comments in, because there's only 4 of us. So we don't have to go like all around the house to get you involved. The 4 horsemen, I think Andrea said earlier on. Yeah. I like it, the 4 horsemen. So
or
yeah,
Fab 4, because the horse these days I get in England, it's not very popular.
No.
But better say the Fab 4, the Fantastic
the
Four.
The Fab 4. Yeah, I like that.
The great comment.
What someone say?
Even Joe, Joe Lucky, Pascal Van Stroke and Jer.
Yeah, he does have a look at Stroke for sure.
He does have a stroke.
I might have to actually, after yesterday's preview when I was saying Stroke's the better centre back, I might have to change that. After seeing Joe Rodon's colossal performance yesterday, by the way, absolutely unbelievable. How not just him, you know, but I mean he was above the rest of them for sure. The A team is here. Katrina says yes, I agree. It is good. So thank you all for being here. Timing is a disgrace. 3 points let you off. I don't know what you mean, Jamie. Then, oh, you mean tonight? All right, okay. I was thinking about something else. I was like, last time I checked, we beat the best team in this league. Georgie, nice to see you here, though. Georgie, I know you watch religiously. It's great to see you in the chat, mate. We'll get some thoughts from you on how you felt the game went from a Leicester perspective. So get a comment in, mate, and I'll star it for later on. We'll have a little chat about Ipswich as well, because it was this Monday last week. I was thinking, you know what? We don't win. The gap might be too big. And as it turns out, we've beaten Leicester. Ipswich dropped points. Yes, they got a late equalise, but ultimately the gap's now 7. Tuesday night they play Rotherham. I'll be doing a watch along, so make sure you join us for that. And hopefully Rotherham will beat them. It's a tough place to go, the New York. Yeah, it's a tough place to go, the New York Stadium. So hopefully, fingers crossed.
It's far away,
you know,
it's miles away.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, we'll do that. So get it locked in, get your notifications smashed and all that. But let's find out how everyone is. Lockie, we didn't speak to you on the preview, so we haven't seen you for a bit. How are you, mate? And what result Friday? Yeah?
I'm good, mate. I've been it's been a good Saturday, just chilling, watching footy. You know, in not a bad mood for a change, or stressed waiting for Leeds to play. It's been great. Yeah, it was. It's probably going to be up there, I think, by the end of the season. You know, going for a team that were, I think, was it 13 points to clear at 14 at the time?
14, mate. 14.
That's and to, in a way, I don't say outplay them in terms of we played the better football, but in terms of the plan and what we went to do, we did it perfectly, especially defensively. It was really good to see another side of Leeds, as opposed to the flowing one that we always see with our attacking players. It was really professional, and key moments in games, especially one big moment at the end, we won on that end, and that's what won us that game. And I'm just really proud of them all. I thought they really deserved that, and it's been coming, a big performance like that. Really proud, yeah. Brilliant.
Yeah, same. And there's little tactical nuances we can pick up what he did in the second half, because like for me, I'm going,
we adapted really well,
mate. I'm going, Byram's going to come off the Firpo or no, but look what he did. And let's be honest, if we're being totally honest, second half Fatawu and Mavadidi were pretty non-existent compared to what they were in the first. So really great to see. Andrea, how were you, mate? Good. Feeling good, feeling better, all going well?
Yeah, mentally, yeah, and in terms of humor, you know, really better. Still healing. It will take some time still, but yeah, you know, at home watching a lot of football currently. Keep improving, you know, I have to take day by day, and I know that the healing process is slow sometimes, so I have to keep the patience, but yeah. Football is keeping me company, and yesterday, still buzzing from yesterday, you know, absolutely. It was, like Loki said, I'm proud of every single one of them because it was a proper Leeds performance. Everyone committed for 100%. They left everything on the pitch. Yeah, they were like warriors. They were like warriors, gladiators yesterday. The tackles also, we were talking about it yesterday too. The photography of the game is the tackle of Grujev probably.
Yes.
He didn't.
Oh yeah, love that.
Right.
Love that.
He didn't with Jur actually. Yeah. He didn't play well when he played at Stoke. So coming into a big game in that situation where we need to defend with that tackle, it shows you that everyone was focused 100% and you keep, you build winning seasons through those kind of games because those games forge your mentality as a team. And I think yesterday was the perfect game in that sense because we were good in terms of offense when we counter-attacked in the first half. Then we dominated the first part of the second half. Then we defended properly. It was like a 5-4-1 or 6 at the back sometimes. But yeah, we were chameleonic, and we were absolutely in the zone, completely committed and focused. And it was like the celebration showed a proper team win. The collective was the best player yesterday, like I said.
There's some celebration police out there on the Leicester side of things, isn't there, apparently? But we'll see. We'll see. But yeah, it was great, mate. Yeah, it was unreal performance. Let's find out how Fabian Barthez is getting on. How was that?
Bonjour.
How are you, mate?
I'm really happy, mate. It isn't it amazing what it does for your entire weekend, isn't it? It's been brilliant.
Unreal.
And I haven't watched it back, and I usually do, and I haven't watched it back yet. I've decided that I enjoyed watching it the first time. I'll chill out and leave it for a bit now and put myself through it. As always, though, there are good parts to the game, and there were shaky parts to the game, and I think we started really, really well. Really well.
That was the key bit.
That was key, vital, and I think it really upset how they wanted to play. I think I go back to what we said during the week now, and now look at Maresca's press conference where he was expecting Leeds to be counter-attacking. I genuinely think it caught him by surprise. I really think it did catch him by surprise. Team Pookie, Harvey, and Pascal Striker.
I know, it's a belter. It's just bang on the money, really, isn't it? That's
There's a couple of bits, though. I'm glad Groove came on and did so well when he came on. I thought he was very good when he came on from a defensive perspective. And that's all he had to do. And I thought his tackling was excellent. And you mentioned Sam Byram earlier on. There was one incident in the second half. I was exactly the same as you, Joe. When Byram got the yellow card, they had that shot to hit the crossbar afterwards. Straight after that, I was thinking, Byram can't tackle now. This is going to be a problem. They're coming. The wingers are starting to come into the game. But then the second half, the first thing he does is as the winger goes past him, he cuts him off, nicks the ball off and rolls up around him and then just trots off with the ball at his feet. You're like, class. Absolutely class. So why was I even slightly worried? Should have been in that team of the week during the week. I'm just saying, should have been in that best 11. I'm only, I did fight my corner, Joe.
Yeah, you did actually. Yeah, bloody hell.
Yeah, best left back on the pitch yesterday. I thought Mellier's big save in a big moment. I'm delighted for him because there was a lovely moment after the game where I think it's Ampadu that pushes Meslier forward into the crowd to do the whole.
Seen it.
And I just thought, if you look at it as he turns around, there's like this big sigh that he takes. He goes, and I just kind of felt like that's an awful lot of stress and pressure and damage with the fans just coming off his shoulders. And one guy, he had his moment, So delighted with that as well. And then I kept looking at the game, and I was thinking about this before the game as well. Rocky IV, like is it Rocky IV? Yeah, when he's fighting Drago.
Drago. Yeah.
One of the best movies ever made, right? But Rocky's fighting Drago, and he can't. He's hitting him and hitting him and hitting him and hitting him, and Drago's winning. And then Rocky cuts him, and the first thing his coach says to him back in the corner is, "He's not a machine. He's a man." And everyone's been looking at Leicester running away with this league this year, thinking no one's going to touch them. No one's going to touch them. We made them bleed last night, and there's just blood in the water now. And other teams, I think, will have a look at that as well.
100%.
So I thought we were excellent, and it's. We were good going forward. We needed it, even though Chris Somerville's touch wasn't as good as it has been. I think he was a bit unlucky, but still had a very good game. Jorginho Rutter didn't get to drop into midfield as much as he likes to, but still had a very good game, was still very effective. So from, struggling with what Leicester were there to offer, and probably our better creative players not getting as much joy, the fact that they could drop in and do the defensive work and defend as well as that team did. And I'm sticking with my Beauty and the Beast centre-back pairing because, again, Strouk looks like an absolute beautiful footballer and Roland comes off the pitch with red marks on his face and blood on his shirt for getting his head in the way of a shot. Which
Mate, headed one with his fucking nose, bro.
Right in his nose, yeah.
Right on his nose.
What a man
The
he
thing
is.
is, the majority of players go down there, he just went, and then carried on, you know what I mean? Just give it a little rub on the end.
Seeing like you've talked about this before, I was like, he gets up, looks a little bit upset, and then gets on with it.
He complains about it, but he'll carry on as he's complaining about it.
It's like, why is it always me? And then just beside him as the hair squad back. So yeah,
it was. You know what? It was very. Look, for me, any battles out there. Well, Leicester have the best centre backs. Leeds just put that in the bin. Harry Winks is better than Ampadu. Ampadu just put that in the bin.
Is he playing, Joe?
For Keenan Dewsbury Hall. I said to the, listen, I went for the second tier lads who said he'd get an England call up. I said he must have been at St George's Park. He fucking won on that pitch last night. Do you know what I mean?
I was going to say, has anyone done a welfare check on him to make sure he's where he's supposed to be? Like, I haven't seen him since before the game. I saw him walk out the tunnel and I haven't seen him since. So they should probably just make sure he's okay.
Yeah, it was fun. Let me just shout out Don Hassam. Don Hassam from This Is Football said, I told you were going to win. He did. And listen, if you like Premier League content and you just want to watch stuff that's absolutely hilarious, then make sure you check out Don Hassam's channel. He's a great guy. Colin Kerwin says as well, evening lads, how good is it this season not having to worry about the manager, the board, the owners? Lucky Leicester have been derailed. This is it now. Marathon, not a sprint. Best team on. I do feel that this weekend is huge, actually. This weekend is actually huge. Let me just bring up this as well. Detail. This is, I think Locks has apologised and explained that it was unintentional. I believe him. I know a lot of you will have seen a tweet that went out from Locks earlier on this morning. I have spoken to Locks directly and believe that it wasn't his intention to cause any upset and was a mistake on his part. He's apologised and I think we just draw a line under it there. I don't think he's going to be coming on the channel and that anymore. Do you know what I mean? That's fine. But I think, like I say, if we just draw a line under it, an error was made, and that's that. I think. Yeah, I think we'll leave that there just to draw that up, so no one, it just don't want it to consume everything. All right. So yeah, let's just move on from that. Just Joe's rent enforcer, love it. He says, why go anywhere else for your Leeds United pre-match analysis, post-match breakdowns, and great guests, and much more than the Just Joe Football Show. Is
that you, Joe?
No, it's not.
Can I ask why?
Go on.
Burner account.
Can I ask why he has a word with the capital letters and one with not, and then another word with the capital letters?
Well, it's because I go pay your rent and smash.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Yeah. So I think his name used to be The Sweet Science of Boxing. It's now Just Joe's Rent Enforcer. He's an absolute legend. No matter where he is, he's always doing it. So right, okay. Let's get into some particulars. I think we've got to start with Meslier for me, right? Because we spent a good. I actually watched it back, to be honest, to find if I could find any really good bits for the short. But I watched it back. We spoke for about 10 minutes, maybe a little bit less, on Ilya Meslier, and we defended him. Myself, Andrea, and Joe. People were saying that he is. Someone said there was 15 better goalkeepers than him.
15, yeah.
Someone said Klaassen should get a chance. Also, with why isn't no? He should be rested. I mean, I don't know anybody who rests a goalkeeper, by the way. And he can't catch, he can't kick, and all this sort of stuff. I think he's kicking for me. There was even still some people yesterday after the game, Joe Tiff, you know who you are, saying that his kicking was off as well. I didn't get it. I don't remember him doing a poor kick, if I'm being totally honest, during the game. I thought he was really, really good. Like Jack says in the comments, he's still only 23. And the sign of a good keeper for me is for him to not have anything to do, really, and then pull up that great save. And actually, yeah, just let me, while it's just coming to my mind, compare Hermansen's kick into Meslier and tell me that Meslier is a bad kick, because Hermansen was all over the shop. He kept giving it fucking away.
Hermansen looked very nervous when he was pressed.
Yeah,
very nervous when he was pressed.
All the time. So for me, Ilyan shut the doubters up yesterday, and I don't want to hear any sort of criticism and people asking him to be dropped again. Because I thought he showed us yesterday that he was unreal, and the players as well. That also shows me how much they appreciate him, because at the end of the highlights, if you watch it, Mark, like I did for the video that I put together, they all just run over to him. Rutter runs the full length of the pitch to cuddle him. Ampadu's got hold of him like this, like they do, grabbing his shirt and hitting him like, yes. And then, like Joe was saying, off air, he pushes him, or he might have been on air, I can't remember, pushes him to the front, in front of the fans, as if to say, take it in, you deserve this, So that shows you as well how much it was appreciated. Listen, when you're wrong, just admit you're wrong. Some of us do. I've had people try and tell me today in the comments that save was ordinary and he should be expected to save it. It's not an ordinary save by any stretch of the imagination. To have the strength in the hand to not only get there, but to be able to push it out as well, because a lot of keepers, it might like take the wrist back, it's in the back of the net anyway. So for me, yeah, it was unreal. Who wants to, Joe, you went like this. Did you want to say something?
In the interest of saying we were wrong, I was wrong. Glenn Kamara is a very, very good central midfielder. Okay, I was wrong.
The best.
He was brilliant, wasn't he?
Yeah.
The biggest thing that stood out to me was the second balls, the breaking balls in the middle of the park and left and right of the centre. He was the first one that was just nipping in and cleaning it up and passing it on. It was all kind of just sweeper work nearly. It was like, oh, there's a breaking play there. I'll nip in, grab that ball, pass it over there. Off we go. He was brilliant. Absolutely. And he's been brilliant 2 games in a row, back to back. He's done it back to back. And we said during the week, if you could do back to back performances, then you're looking at a quality player. So I was wrong. And I'm happy I was wrong, because he was excellent. And we're better because of it.
We're going to come back to Kamara, Joe. You've just jumped up. Talk to me about Melia.
Sorry, I just thought in the interest of being wrong here, I'd get that out of the way. He had very little to do. We talked during the week about him facing more shots last season than any other goalkeeper. And if you've been under that kind of pressure for 18 months of just constantly having shots going onto your defense, not having your back, your defense not covering you, your confidence is going to take a massive, massive hit. Before the last time in the Championship, he looked like a very, very good goalkeeper. The first season, the Premiership, he looked like a very, very good goalkeeper. And then halfway through the second season, everything went to shit. So, you know, it wasn't just him, it was everybody. So he has to rebuild that confidence, and that can be really tough, especially as he had so much football in him as a young player. They talk about young strikers coming on and taking a penalty in a shootout, saying, you shouldn't give it to them because if they miss, it can destroy their development and wreck their confidence. Melié's been in the firing line for 3, 4, 5 years, and he's 23 years of age. He's still a kid. So people kind of forget that. But in that moment, in that game, when you haven't had a shot to face for the entire match, you can be cold. Your reflexes can be stiff. You might not be as reactive as you are during the game. To take a ball out of the top corner while going across the goal and falling backwards. I've been critical of his footwork. His footwork was fantastic. It was perfect. And to be able to grab that ball, which I thought was stuck in the top corner. That was
unbelievable.
It's a good header. It's a really good header from a good cross. But not only to catch it or to block it, but to be able to push it out and around to stop it going in the back of the net was brilliant. And the amount of pressure that would have been on him at that point as well in that game. Like if it had gone in, it's all on him. It's that kind of stuff again. So I'm delighted for him. I don't remember his kicking being bad, but I don't remember him being involved in the game because he's got a defense in front of him now and a midfield too, who are limiting the amount of opportunities he has to face in the game, which means that when the big ones come along, he's fresh and he's ready to do them. So yeah, look, hats off to the kid. He was brilliant.
Players who have been battered in the last, for Leeds, who've been battered in the last kind of 2 years, need that defining moment where it can change everything. Rutter's had it for me when he came. He had a bad time. That game where that goal he scored against Millwall, that was his moment. I think he grew confident from that. You could see when he came off the way he was smiling, how happy he was. The Watford game, even, he's had his moment. Illan Meslier, as Joe said, has been battered for 2 seasons straight with a terrible defence in front of him. His confidence must have been lower than anyone else at the club. And what we saw yesterday after that, like you said, in the celebrations, was a player who's, like you said, he's relieved now. He'll believe in himself a lot more now. He'll believe that actually I've got that in me. I've got these moments. I can make those saves. And that's so important because now, hopefully, what we'll see is a more confident keeper. Because, look, criticism's fine. You can criticise a player, but when he's doing well, you also got to give him his flowers. And in terms of distribution yesterday, I thought it was brilliant. I thought it was his best game because the decision-making he made, and And a lot of a keeper's distribution is based on the picture in front of him, right? It's what you do at training. You do a lot of it starting from the goalkeeper. It happens all the time. Where are the centre backs? When's the triggers to pass? Who do you pass to? And he got them right for me. He didn't pass it to them under pressure. He got it the right side. When Ampadu dropped in between as well, and he'd give it him, and then they give it out to the fullback, beat the press in 2 passes. He starts that decision process. That's him. And he got it right a lot of times. And that's what you want your goalkeeper to do. And look, there's nothing he did wrong yesterday for me. I thought it was brilliant in what he had to do. And hopefully now this is a pedestal for him to really kick on to shut all them people up that don't believe in him. Hopefully.
Andrea, do you want to chime in?
Yeah, very quickly, because they basically said what I think.
Yeah.
Just want to clarify. That was a world-class save. World-class save. If you remember in that 2006 final, Buffon made a similar save against Zidane. So if you look just at the save, I'm not comparing, of course, to the goalkeeper right now. That save was game-changing. He saved the day, because if he didn't save that, and that is the defining moment of the game, it's the last kick of the game basically, and if he doesn't make that save, we get 1 point, and the gap is still there, and he engineered with that save probably if we get momentum, like I said, he engineered a changing moment, a defining moment in the season, probably, because a win like yesterday can give you really momentum, and especially after beating Huddersfield 4-1, you go to Leicester and win 1-0 away. They had played 14 games and lost just 1 game, so that changed everything. I think the old Melia is back now,
same.
Hopefully,
he's back.
Well,
Go Joe.
I was going to say, I'm in the bracket of Fark on this. I would, and this is, we've talked about this an awful lot over last year. You can criticize him when he's had a bad game, when he's open for criticism, and you should praise him when he's done something well and is open for praise. It should be done measured. It should be a bit of both. So, there will be times when he's going to have bad games. He's a very young goalkeeper. He is going to make mistakes. He is still going to get things wrong, and we'll talk about them and we'll say that he's got things wrong, but it doesn't mean a couple of mistakes don't make a bad goalkeeper, where a couple of really good games don't make a superb goalkeeper. It's about consistency and growing, and he's growing, and he's been through the tough stuff, and he's come out the far end of it, and he's still intact. And that's a huge thing, but he will have games, and it's just important that we criticize when it's right to criticize, and we praise when it's right to praise, and in equal measure, and never with an agenda in mind, Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah. And especially it shows also yesterday the maturity and the confidence is back too, because there were times last season where also was confidence, though those shots last season were savable in certain cases, and it was a confidence issue in my opinion. But he has his confidence back, his mentality is back, because he has a rock solid defense in front of him. You see that he made a mistake against Huddersfield, and there were people saying, the old Melia is back. No, the Melia of last season is back, But he was covered. He didn't see the ball coming in that shot. The Huddersfield player was free to shoot. He didn't see the ball coming. He saved that, not properly, because it was not a solid save. He didn't block the ball. But it's not up to him to follow the player who does the tapping, it's up to the defense there. So after that, let's say mistake, because he made the save, but he saw the ball late against Huddersfield, so he just touched it, not blocked it. And after that, he recovered and made a game-saving change against Huddersfield, against Leicester. So the difference is all there, Melia now can really save a result like he did in the first season in the Premier League. And Bielsa was one of the best keepers in the league, and there were rumors about him being a understudy of Lloris in the French squad back then. He can go back there if he keeps doing what he's doing right now.
Yeah, I remember saying, listen, this guy will win trophies. I believed he was that good. He will win trophies at the top level. Then he has had a bad time of it in the last 2 years. But like people said, there's nothing stopping him. He's got everything in the locker to fulfill that potential. And I think a season in the Championship is probably going to do him good. We go back to the Premier League, fingers crossed. and you know, he gets another crack at the whip and doesn't have to face so many. But then again, that's for another day, because we know Daniel Farke's record is the Premier League. It's not great, so we'd have to address. But we'll see. I do think we have to give parity. I wouldn't bring it up, but I can see the chat keep mentioning it, and I think it's only fair for Damar, Antonio, Shea, and the rest. And I know Chris Kelly, who's going to join us shortly, would probably want to touch on this as well. Luke Ayling was poor for the header, wasn't he? For when Dewsbury Hall. Go on, Joe. You look like you're going to disagree. I thought.
No, it's not a disagreement. I think it's more, without getting technical, is it a physics thing? You've got Ayling running backwards, so he's running that way, and you've got the attacker running forwards. He's always going to get up higher. The only thing Ayling can do in that situation is make it difficult for him and trying in. Like, your man wins the header. Look, it happened against Stoke as well with Bamford as well. Sometimes the player just gets over the top of you and he's just beaten on height. But it's he does very well to recover when Meslier does make the save. He's the first one to sweep it out of there straight away. And that's the thing we talked about last week about the Meslier drop last week, was that there was nobody there to come in and cover him, but just let the striker run in, you know. At least there, right, Ayling doesn't do perfectly well on the first thing, but in that situation, that's favouring a striker or somebody attacking the ball because they can get up over the defender. But I still think Ayling does a very good job of staying aware and then clearing the ball as soon as it drops, because it could have been a tap in then if he wasn't, you know. Yeah,
because that, to be honest, at first viewing of it, I thought Ayling had headed it onto the crossbar. I didn't realise Meslier had actually saved it. But then when you do see it, you do think, oh God, is he being beaten in it? And listen, I don't think any of us are going to sit here and say that, you know, as much as I love Ayling, I don't think any of us are sitting here saying that he should be in the squad, and well, not so much in the squad, but getting game time. And listen, folks, we know now that one more game, and that's probably it for Ayling, because Jed Spence will probably be back the other side of the international break, which means he starts, which means then Shackleton and Gray are your second options. You know, Gray can come on in midfield, but can also then come on at right back if needed, depending on how Jed Spence is getting on. I would argue Daniel Farke probably wouldn't like to change the back four, so he'd want to get 90 minutes from his back four. So, yeah, I don't think we're gonna see much of him anyway. So for those that are frustrated and all that sort of stuff, I think it's going to be the end of him anyway, folks. And it is what it is. Is that
also
enough, Damar?
No, there's also another talking point for me, you know, about the right back. Do you keep Gray until Spence is recovering back his fitness fully at right back? Because when Spence is back, do you play Gray or Kamara in midfield then? That's another talking point for me.
You have to keep Kamara.
Kamara for me too. Yeah. With Gray as the first option from the bench.
Yeah.
I've always said he was great. So. I've always said it, how great Kamara is. So you can't take him out of the team and enjoy it. I've always said it.
No, but I do. For me, and I was really shocked at quite not backlash, but there was quite a few people on Twitter against Stoke saying Gray is not a right back. He was just knackered.
But he isn't. Yeah, but he isn't. But he also isn't the right back. That is a valid.
No, but he can play there to a sufficient level. He plays there for his country, and I would argue, and we've seen it on a number of occasions, because Jamie Shackleton was once a centre midfielder. I know Gray might go on to do that, but you never know that he might end up just a right back. Like
I prefer him as a right back, honestly.
Trent was a midfielder. Same, Trent was a midfielder. Now he's a right back.
Yeah.
I could see Gray having longevity in that position. If I'm being
I think it's good for him that he can do both, to be honest, because I think if you look at England,
with the new
for example,
inverted thing as well,
right? There's a lot of transferable kind of techniques to both positions these days, especially in the elite level. And you look at England now, and the depth we have in both positions. If he does want to break into that team one day, you know, he's going to have to be good in both. So ideally, he could play either position. And I think, look, he's 17 years old and he's playing this well. Mavadidi, like I know he wasn't great yesterday. But
he's still very good.
He's a good player, isn't it? He's a very good winger. Like, let's be real. And once he again understood the assignment, like he did against Bristol, once he got used to who he was up against, and we changed it slightly tactically, that second half where he tracked him and tackled him and kept the ball in play, unbelievable.
There's two things in that second half, Lockie, that we did really well. We in the first half towards the back end, especially, the fullbacks were getting targeted, singled out, and we're getting isolated 1v1. Second half started straight away. On the left-hand side, you could see some of it would drop and cover the inside. So Byron could cover the outside. And then you had Dan James dropping in and covering the inside at the right-hand side. So Gray could cover the outside. And it just meant that, you know, the two Leicester wingers had nowhere to go. They couldn't go outside or inside, so just passed it back inside. Yeah. So that was a good tactical change by Farke as well to tell them to double up.
We kind of sacrifice when we score. We started off really well in the second, didn't we? And then we got the goal, and then we kind of sacrificed like 10-15% possession to be more solid, and it worked in the end because we still have the attributes and the players to counter. So it's good that we have different plans or different modes for whatever the situation is. So yeah.
And I also think we're edging towards a definitive starting 11. I think right now.
I think we're there. So, I think we're there. Right back. I think we're there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, Chris, let's bring you in, mate. Great to see you in the chat. And then I was like, do you know what? I've had a busy day. I just was like, I totally forgot. I was like, I can't be out. I'll get people. And then you've come in the chat, so invite you on. Great to see you, mate. How are you feeling after yesterday? It's good right now, isn't it?
I'm all right, mate. I don't know what everyone was so worried about. I told you we'd win. Calm yourselves down, man. I got the score wrong. I'll give you that. But I told you we'd win. Mate,
Matt said 3-0 Leicester, I swear.
I'm not going to lie. I went on his watch along yesterday, absolutely peppered him at 1-0. I was like, all right, Mr. Pessimistic, 3-0. He was like, but for me, mate, it's a complete away performance. That's exactly what you want from an away performance. Come out strong, rattle the home team, silence the home fans. Not that, I guess, the Leicester fans are ever completely raucous, but silence the home fans, get your goal, and then adapt your tactics to just be that bit more solid because Leicester are a very good team at this level and hold out and still create chances to make it 2-0 as well on the break. It was apart from getting the second goal, it's a 10 out of 10 away performance to who are currently the best team in the league, you know, stats and points wise, no denying it. So yeah, absolutely perfect. I thought there wasn't a weak performance. There was some way you're a bit like, would have expected a bit more, a Joel Pirot or whatever, but certainly not a bad performance. I thought I completely agree with what you guys were saying about Illan Meslier. I've been very vocal about him in the past as well, and it's been deserved criticism in my view, but his distribution was back to, you know, he wasn't pinging long balls yesterday, but it was back to that confidence level of Arsenal when he first appeared on the scene. And that save, anyone saying that's not a world-class save at any level has got an agenda coming out of every hole in the body, and they just need to hold their hands up and admit it, because that is an absolute worldie. And, you know, my favourite player on the planet got his goal as well. So, and his interview post-match was just as good as his performances.
Oh, brilliant.
He's just a big man child who loves running around and kicking the ball about. He's mega.
It's so true.
Yeah, he was mad to give the award, wasn't he? He was super keen to give the man the match. They were like, hang on a second, we'll get that in a minute.
Yesterday was like a French Leeds in the end.
Yeah.
In terms of the two key players.
It's great.
It's true,
It was. Let's just stick with Rutter for a second, because if the guy could finish, like if he could strike a ball clean, this guy would be just like, and that will come, I will hope, but that's the only thing that's holding him back, because there was a couple of opportunities yesterday where you're thinking if he hits that true, it's in the back of the net, and they were just so like almost weak as piss.
And you're right, mate. It will become, because, you know, we know what YouTube's like for highlight reels, but in some of his highlight reels for Hoffenheim, he hits absolute bullets off both feet. So he has got it in the locker. It will come, definitely.
Yeah, it was a little bit frustrating at times, though, I felt.
He was snatching at things. I think he was just snatching at things. Like he was trying to turn and get a shot away quick to try and catch him off. And you're, because of the way his legs are anyway, the longer kind of reaching him, he's kind of just whipping it like a 9-iron at it to try and hook the thing. So, yeah, I mean, but he's come here. It was the furthest up the pitch he's played for us for the entire year, and his hold-up play I thought was very, very good, and we haven't seen a huge amount of that. It was really good.
And we were pressing. He was pressing yesterday more than he has done previously. Yeah, for sure.
We pressed first 25 minutes.
Yeah, we did.
We were pressing, and we haven't pressed.
As well.
Yeah.
First few minutes. Yeah, I really impressed with Rutter. And I think it was like, a different role from him, wasn't it? It was a lot more of
Yeah.
a dirty role, a lot more of a gritty role. Didn't do as much of the flair stuff because it just wasn't the game for it. It was about being professional and being solid. And it's good that he's getting that side of him, because if he wants to progress, higher, he will need that. Yeah, and like, just so happy for him. Right place, right time, and he needed that. He needed a finish like that, I think.
Yeah.
Just keep
there was that moment where he turned Wout Fess in the box and then ran in and had that poor shot. But I was like, yeah, man, he's showing, because everyone's gushing over this leg. That's what I'm saying. I feel like sort of vindicated. I think we do as a fan base, because all we've heard about is Leicester. Let's be realistic. That's all we've heard.
Sick of hearing about KDH and Harry Wanks, as you call them.
That's what I'm saying. And every individual battle, Leeds United came out on top. You know what I mean? And that's the great thing about it. The centre-backs were better. I mean, I can't really think
one
of
shot on target.
Apart from Pereira. I thought Ricardo Pereira for Leicester was very good.
Very good.
And I think if Leicester win the game, he gets the man of the match. And I think, that's how it goes. But let's talk about our man of the match, according to Sky. And I think a lot of us as well was Glenn Kamara. Because was he not your man of the match, Chris?
No.
Who was your man of the
Chris,
match?
what's wrong with you, mate? I've been saying Glenn Kamara's an amazing player. What's your problem with him?
I've got absolutely no problem, unlike you, Joe, at times. And I thought it was an exceptional performance, but the big man at the back, Joe Rodon, was my man of the match.
Yeah, he's great.
I thought he was... Mate, anyone who saves a shot on goal with the nose is the man of the match.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. It's just the fact he went like that as well and then carried on. Like, I couldn't believe it.
I'm good, like.
I'll fix it when I retire.
Yeah. But yeah, Kamara, he was phenomenal. And he's just this is the thing, I think Farker had said in the post-match or pre-match just recently, there's more to come from him. And we've seen some of that yesterday. You know what I mean? He was unbelievable, man.
I just love the way he passes a ball.
What about when he bodied Vardy?
Oh, good body, yeah. Everything about him yesterday kind of just made that perfect performance again in this type of game.
Yeah,
excellent. Yeah. And the way in which he hits the ball, like passes it, it's so crisp and direct. It's not this slow pass. It's right to the feet. He chooses the right option. He chooses when to play safe. He's press resistant. Well, he's press resistant, which the best players in this league. You can be a good centre midfielder, but when people are running at you, how good are you then? How good are you at resisting the press? And he is. Did he lose it from that? He just turns people. He's too quick for him. I'll let someone else speak more, but he's unbelievable.
I agree, mate. And I think why we're seeing now this next level of him is I think Daniel Farker's found his best position, and that is to release him from that double pivot and get up and down. And, he was out wide helping the wide players. He was out wide helping the fullbacks along with the wingers as well at times. He was absolutely everywhere. The lad's an absolute machine. Then stands and does his interview at full time and looks like he's just had a five minutes of five-a-side. You're like, I'd have been absolutely hanging out my backside. And I've been like, I'm not talking to you. Just give me that man of match awards. Cheers, Gio. I'm off.
The defines his performance yesterday. Like Chris said, he was everywhere. And also the ball carrying part of it is fundamental now in the squad. And he's starting 11 and he needs to play every game now to start alongside Ample, because he is the ball carrying player in that midfield. And we look like a different team when he's playing. The big challenge is to keep him on this level, because of course at Rangers sometimes he played on these levels, but his performance is fell down a bit sometimes. So you just need to keep him involved with a specific role. And I think his role right now is different from what he used to do at Rangers. So I think we're on the right path.
I think, sorry, mate, and I will hand it over to our technical master, Joe, in a second. But I think what we're seeing now is we've got a spine of a team, and that's that block of four. Kamara, Ampadu, obviously, who's just the linchpin in there, and then those two centre-backs. And I think now we have already built around them, but like we said, Jed Spence to come in and stuff. But that block of four there is just turbo solid.
Brilliant, isn't it?
It makes you wonder as well. And I think Squareball mentioned it, is that what were we doing? Why didn't we sign this guy straight away? We sat there waiting for months. It felt like months.
What happened there?
I mean?
Leeds, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't get it. I don't get why
we were waiting for Amiri, probably.
Yeah,
It's like
yeah,
day
true.
40 of the transfer saga, and Leeds have booked another medical for Glenn Kamara today
Yeah.
after the 6 medicals they booked this week already for Glenn Kamara.
Yeah.
Yeah, every parked
We need to
airplane
speak
was
to
him.
Tiff. Tiff's got the inside track. He'll know why, won't he, old Joe?
He was in Glasgow with him waiting.
3 months. Oh, it's booked. It's booked. It's like I can tell
He
you
was
my source-
walking 500 miles.
Yeah, no, it was wandering down. Yeah, I'm glad we got it done.
Yeah.
I'm glad we got it done.
Yeah.
His I said it. His clean up play is very good, but also just he's a very calm head in the middle of that park. So when it was getting a bit, sticky, yes, there was patches in the second half where I was getting a little bit nervous. Going, I'm not happy with this dropping. At some point, we could do a pushing out a little bit, and you see Kamara just walk in, nick the ball, do a little pivot, and then pass it off, and off we go again. And it's just there's a coolness to it, there's a relaxedness to it that calms everyone else around him as well. So he's got a good influence on the park as well. And I think there's goals there as well. I think we'll start seeing him nicking in, coming in the edge of the boxes and putting a few balls in the corners as well. He has that in his locker. He can do that. The big thing is always has been, and my friend in Scotland who's a Rangers fan, she's the one that kind of gave me the insight on him. So she's at fault for my tweet. She said, as long as he's interested, he's very, very good, but he needs to be invested in it. And I think if you're, to what Chris said, freeing him up now to be able to get the ball and do stuff with it as well as just break up the play, I think plays into that as well. He looks like he's enjoying the football. He looked like he enjoyed yesterday. Yeah, very mature head, very calm player. And yeah, there's a lot more in that as well. His passing is very, very, very good.
Yeah, I just like I say, I like the look of that block of 4. And I said it yesterday on my post-match with Oscar that without a shadow of a doubt, this team bodies last season's team. If you could put them up against each other, bodies it.
Yeah. Imagine Aronson up against Kamara.
He'd
end up in the
Someone mentions Christensen in the chat.
I've seen that tweet, man.
Look at me punching my chest, Look at me punching my chest. The difference is now we have proper warriors showing it on the pitch. Christensen was just there for the vibes, playing the part of a Viking, but not being a Viking against other players,
Exactly.
That's and I have him against me in the fantasy football now in my opponent's team. This game day,
But
we've talked about this. The lads giving it all this to the crowd and the big bumps, the Pontus Janssens, the Christiansens, and then when
we
they
fall
actually
for it as a fan base. I think all fan bases do though. You fall for it.
We all fell in love with them initially. You're like,
and
then you look afterwards.
Even with Adams.
Yeah.
You used to go, look at Tyler Adams, Captain America, he's having a go, And then really he was trying to fucking screw us, wasn't he? So
yeah, giving all this to the crowd, and then when actually push comes to shove, they all took their tails and ran away. Yeah.
Even Max Forby, do you remember Max Forby came in? He was like, he's a warrior. Like someone's just said, all over him.
All over him.
Can I ask a question, George, real quick?
Go on, mate. Yeah.
Who's the most vital player in this team? Do you think?
Oh, that's a good question.
Ampadu, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I still say Ethan, I don't think he'll get player at year anymore. He looked like he was going to. No, I don't. It's Rutter.
Rutter's getting it just for pure vibes, isn't he?
Rutter's for young player of the year.
No, he'll get them both, man. He'll get them both. Who was the last person to get them both? I think it could have been.
It's Calvin.
Byram. Oh, Calvin. Sorry, Calvin would have maybe, But I know someone. Jack Clark.
Linked to Juve today, Calvin in Italy.
Yeah, I've seen that. So. Anyway, that's a good point, actually. I just want to bring on this and then we'll move on to Farker in the second half and how he changed it and all that. But Nige D said, nice to see Parag there last night. And he was over and it made me think, okay, we're starting to get the wheels in motion for January. It's less than 8 weeks away now. Yeah. People keep mentioning about Rodon. Do we get a deal as soon as possible?
Do it. Let's not find ourselves in another Ben White situation.
Yeah, exactly.
Get it done.
Exactly.
Please.
Yeah, I agree. And the thing is as well, the way Spurs are currently, it's a perfect time to try and get it done because they don't need Rodon. They're at top of the league. They'll be thinking, we're fine. We're getting Champions League. Let's just get him off the books. And they'll want to do bits in January. So do you think that's why Parag's over here? Because it's, it's getting closer to January, setting wheels in motion and stuff?
There's been a couple of new appointments at the club, hasn't there, over the last couple of weeks as well? So I would imagine it's probably a bit of that, settling them in. But you'd like to think he's now greasing the wheels for January.
There's a bit on Weber possibly being there around December as well, potentially still there. So he might be there for that kind of stuff as well. But the fact that they were Angus pretty much said out loud, we've got 2 loan spaces and we're going to be active in the loan market, just suggests they're going to fill those 2 spaces straight away, which again would suggest they know exactly who they want and exactly what positions they need filled if they're planned. I still think it'll be a 10. I think we will do a 10.
Yeah.
Will
maybe
it be a mirror?
Will it be a mirror?
I still wouldn't say no to Amiri. I know he made balls of it, but I would still say, and
Quite good at it.
Calvin, like you never say no to a good footballer if they make your team better, and if he made us better, fine. He's kind of acknowledged that he messed up. Like he has said that. I was doing my podcast earlier on with Michael, and he says, I said, he's removed the people from his team that caused him to make that decision. He goes, wasn't it his pregnant wife that told him not to go? That's an awkward conversation.
You've been.
Apparently so.
Yeah, I think his brother was his agent, actually.
Yeah.
Brother was. Yeah, he's gone. He's gone.
Wouldn't that be some statement, though? I know he only misses about, but getting Amiri in January.
Yeah, I think so.
I don't think we're going back for him, honestly, because I think
we will?
No, because I think what he did, yes, no, yes, no. I think the American ownership doesn't see you in a good light if you do that once, so they won't give him a second chance. They actually gave him a second chance once.
I know my answer to this question, right? But do we get a left back now that Firpo's back? Because I just want to... Mate, like I had to deal, right? On was it Friday? Friday morning, I'm coming back from the gym. And Firpo, I think Graham Smith had put up the picture of Firpo, and it was like
his social media.
I started to see compilations of his time at Real Betis and that, and I was going, "What the fuck are we doing here?
7 years ago.
Why are we doing this?" Like, but I know he didn't get any. I know he didn't come on, but for me, we still go out and get a left back surely in January. That's got to be one of the key positions.
Well, if we're gonna go up, then we can't have him because we know we can't do it in the Premier League. We already know that. So why mess around with it? He should be good in the Championship.
Do you know what though, Joe, as well? And at half time, and I said this, and Unambiguous has said this is Firpo's level, right? Now, people say, Championship, it's his level. If he'd have gone up against Fatawu yesterday in that first half, Fatawu would have murdered him. Fatawu murdered Byron, for God's sake. So Firpo would have been, I don't know where he'd be. Do you know what I mean?
I don't think he stays on the pitch.
No, yeah, exactly. That's what I mean.
I think he gets a yellow card early on, like Byron does, but I think then he does something rash afterwards and gets a second one because he won't be able to deal with him. Like, or you have to take him off. Where Sam was a class act in the second half and you didn't have to worry about him. But yeah, he should look. Whatever he does this year, if he has 1 or 2 amazing games, or 1 or 2 bad games, he should be very good at this level. The expectation is you've played for Barca, you've played for Betis. The Championship should be easy enough for you. If it's not easy for you, then you're in big trouble, pal. You're in because where do you go from here now? Is back go to Austria maybe, up to the Nordic countries to do something like that because you're not going to get into an English side. And I don't trust his injury record. I really don't trust his injury record.
It's just not reliable, is it?
No, it's also a fact that there's players who are suited and reliable in English football and players who cannot do it in English football because the level of play and rhythm is completely different from continental Europe. Pepe is a good player, but for Spanish football, not for English football. He can do it in the Championship too, for me.
Mark Rocker's that as well, potentially.
Yeah, exactly. So. It's just the rhythm. It's just the level of the rhythm. And according to Fabrizio Romano, there were a lot of clubs lined up in the summer, but actually no one took him. So
no offers. Either. There wasn't even an offer or inquiry.
Exactly.
No. Exactly. That was pure agent trying to drum up something to get Firpo a deal, but obviously
drum his agent.
Right. Yeah. Let's talk about the second half then, because I think a lot of us, while we're on the Firpo, myself included, thought, do you know what, we're going to see Junior Firpo. This worries me. However, what Farke did is basically doubled up on their wingers, and if we're being totally honest, in the second half, Mavididi and Fatu still were dangerous. Of course they were, because their level's above the level that we're at. They'll be Premier League wingers for me. I think that's fine. I think we can say that. They won't get as much joy in the Premier League, but they're still at that level. But the job that Farke did, I think, we bemoan his subs at times, but he made great tactical tweaks yesterday. I even felt his subs were good late on, bringing off Rutter, because when I seen Bamford and I forget who else came up, was it Bamford and Gruyev at the same time?
Yeah.
And I thought, what's he doing here? And then to bring off both Pirro and Rutter showed me, right, okay, he's shutting up shop. We've got 10 minutes left. This is the right thing to do. And that's something that Bielsa never did, really. Just to mention that. So I think Daniel Farke deserves so much praise, and he actually out-tacticked Maresca. We've said Russell Martin did him before, and others have done him, but he actually said, you know, this Tim Pot Pep that everyone keeps wanking off, I'm the real Don around here. Yeah, the Wish Pep. He said, I'm the real Don around here, and I'm the championship guy. So,
got a bit salty, didn't he, Joe?
Didn't he? Really salty. Really salty.
He said, we'll pull.
So, before the game, and we talked about this in the pre-match stuff, before the game, in his comment about, is this a big game? His response was, now I know there's an English breakdown here as well, but he did say, it's another 3 points. That's all it is. It's just another 3 points. Now, he probably meant if it's just another game, but he said it's just another 3 points, which is very presumptuous at that point. I said nothing about it at that time because I didn't want it to come back to bite me on the arse, because you don't do things like that, Joe. You don't say things out loud that could possibly come back to haunt you. You wouldn't. So I didn't. After the game, he said, Sunderland are better than Leeds.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, why?
Who aren't in the playoffs?
Yeah.
So
let him talk.
Yeah. Why didn't say that though? Why?
No, I watched that game, and it was more. I think Sunderland did create more chances, clear chances, but they also conceded a lot more. So it was kind of a bit of an end-to-end game. Whereas Farke just he had a plan for every moment of the game. And look, managers don't like it when they get outdone by other ones. They don't, and he clearly hated that. And it was so good what he did in the second half. Like I said, he sacrificed a little bit of protection to be more effective in certain areas. So, you know, I think we realised within the first 10 minutes that we've got this midfield. Because what we did was, when Winks got the ball, we just put a little block around him so he couldn't go forward. And we just limited him to go back. And that's fine. Just make him go back.
Did he go back, or did he just go 1 yard sideways?
Yeah, 1 yard back, yeah. But what we did from that, we forced them wide, and then obviously we realised, right, they're cooking us a bit 1v1 on the wing. So, you know, whoever it is, Kamaru actually drifted left defensively a lot to help over there when some of us was a bit further up. And we knew when we were deeper as well, there's no space for Dewsbury Hall, because we're already deeper. There's no space in there for him. So there's more space wide to defend the wide areas, and we did it. It sounds basic, and it kind of is when you think about it. You kind of accept that they're going to have more possession because they're a very good possession side. So let's just be effective in other ways. And where it is nervy at times, like Jess said, when you want us to push up a bit, yeah, it is. You sat there going, the time's going really slowly, and you're thinking they're going to get a chance here, but they didn't really, did they? No. We forced them inside we were just parked between the goal. Our centre backs and our midfielders protect the keeper at all costs. And when we were on the counter 2 or 3 times in the second half, we looked like we could score. So he got it perfect for me. Yeah.
Vardy and Iheanacho were completely ineffective.
Missing.
Absolutely. Yeah. The only 2 players that are running on, like Lucky said, were Mavididi and Fatawu. Just trying to win the one-on-ones on the wings, but they did not in the end. Thanks to the bar too. Thank you, Crossbar.
Yeah, it was.
We hit as well.
Listen, Fatawu was very good, wasn't he? Fatawu was very good.
Yeah.
Good winner him. Very good.
Yeah.
1v1, especially when Sam Byram got a yellow card. You know what, to be fair, Sam Byram, the mentality to have to kind of adapt the way you defend when you're on a yellow, because you can't put a challenge in or you're off. So you have to be a bit more passive. But he did it. But when he did it, it was more effective. It was weird. He kind of sat deeper, but it kind of worked because there was less space to play behind him. And obviously the tactics when we went defensive helped as well, and Daniel Farke recognised that. Sam Byram, he's just a smart footballer, and he's Sam Byram, and knows how to deal with situations.
Good. I'm so happy for him as well. Don't forget to smash a like on the video, folks. We've got 766 people watching live, which is absolutely amazing.
Oh, we found Dewsbury Hall finally. He's in the graphic next to me.
Oh yeah,
he's not on the map.
Got to be
there. He is. That's where he was hiding.
He was like. This is the thing. He was non-existent, wasn't he? He was non-existent.
I know some of you guys. Obviously, you're deep into your football content, and paying attention to what everyone else is doing in the league. Of course, you know me, Joe. I'm very much I'm Leeds, and there's nothing else going on really. And I'm a vibes fan. I'm like loving it or hating it. There's no in between. But even I was bored of hearing about Harry Winks and Dewsbury Hall in the run up to this game from everyone on social media and everything. I'm like, they're hardly pulling up trees in the Champions League here. They've just started well in a really, really good team, in the Championship. Give it a break. And both of them yesterday were... Ampadu's absolutely a grade up on Harry Winks. No buts, or maybes, as is Kamara. You know, it's just a farce. And like I think you've said, mate, everyone's been banging on about KDH, as they call them, which makes me physically sick that they're using his 3 initials.
Like he's no
KDB, wind it in. But like you said, no one's talking about Gio Rutter, who's, you know, been more effective than KDH. So, yeah, just wind it in and get back in your box a little bit, because they were both bang average yesterday.
Yeah,
I remember
Triple H is better than KDH.
I remember telling you a few weeks ago, Joe, I was getting stick on Twitter. Literally all day, this guy was replying me, because this is a Leeds fan, by the way, 2 Leeds fans, because I suggested Anthony might be the best midfielder in the league. Leeds fans were saying this guy's better. Never mind Ampadu. I think Kamara might be 1 and 2 with Ampadu now. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
There's levels like our own fans.
Exactly.
Wow.
I had Leeds fans telling me that Meslier was gash yesterday as well, not just in the chat, but on the Twitter on the morning of the game, because I had said to them, name them 5 goalkeepers that are better than him, and they gave me these names.
The thing is, mate,
all these people, but
they trip themselves up as well, because these will be the same people that going, Ayling and Cooper have never been any good. Well, Paul Meslier was playing behind those saps for 2 years in the Premier League. So what do you want him to do? You can't have it both ways.
For sure. And I think, you know, Philip Anderson's just mentioned there, we've shown the other teams in the league how to beat Leicester. I think there is a little bit of that as well. Ipswich, we have handed the 2 top teams in the division their losses, and on their own patch as well, which is a key point.
I was just going to say, we did it in different ways as well. The Ipswich game was end-to-end. We showed we've got more firepower than you, we'll outscore you. The Leicester game, we showed we'll go on up and we'll just be really solid. And we showed different ways to win against the best teams in the league.
Exactly.
Great to see.
And listen, go on, Andrea. Go on.
No, one other thing I wanted to say is that if you look at our players and the comparisons with Winks and all their players, you know, our players are double-dimensional. Look, Ampadu, he can attack and he can defend. He was good also in terms of tackling yesterday. Winks can only pass the ball and defend and try to create something in the build-up, because his defensive work was not very good for me, in my opinion.
No.
He doesn't do anything. He doesn't do progressive passing. He doesn't do defensive work. He doesn't nick back and win balls off players. He sits in the middle back, and as Chris has already said, passes it a yard left and a yard right. He's not a progressive midfielder. There's plenty of these midfielders out there that can look really good in the game, and their stats will say they're brilliant because, he had 85% completion ratio. He goes, left to right. I remember playing against Jaap Stam's Reading, and they were like, the back two center backs have the most passes in the league. Like, just keep passing it to each other. Don't go anywhere with it. It's all for show. Like, it doesn't do anything. So
10 England
he's
caps
never been great in the Premier League.
Was it? Wow.
10 England caps.
And he's never looked great for England, though. He never looked great in the Premier League. And that's why Spurs turfed him out to Sampdoria. He was a decent player for Sampdoria in a team that got relegated from Serie A. So again, looking good in the poorer side. Now he's in a really good side in the poorer division, and he's looking brilliant. But when he's come up against teams that are of the same level, he went missing completely. So it's a myth.
Yeah.
They'll find out next year. They'll find out next year that he won't be in their team next year. They'll be trying to buy a midfielder next year to replace him.
Well, what happened to Conor Cody? I was told Conor Cody in the Championship would be the best. He can't even fucking get in the team. He can't even get in the team.
Joe. Card tricks.
I told him. What did I say? He's there. Do you know what I was getting told as well? I was going, but he travels down to the game even though he's injured. I was like, well, there you go. He's there for card tricks and not magic tricks.
And I'm not going to lie, I'd go as well if I were getting a free ticket.
This man was picked ahead of Tomori in the single squad. Remember that?
Well, this is the thing. But it's because he's there for vibes. That's why.
What injured player doesn't show up for a home game? Like, you have to be there.
No, even away games, bro. He was going to away. Oh, he's great around the place. Goes to away games.
He's been paid a lot of money by that club to turn up and support your team.
I'm not being funny, but
what else has he got to do?
He probably can't stand his missus. Do you know what I mean? He's like, I'm going away. Do you know what I mean?
Leicester need Jesse Marsh in charge because he played every game. Then it'd just be vibes-tastic, wouldn't it?
Love it.
Yeah, definitely. That's what I'm saying, though. Like, I was told he would be the best in the league, and he can't even get in the team. So there you go.
I
I would have taken Connor Cody in the summer. I would have,
man. Why?
because
You
he's
know-
experienced. But as an additional player, I would have said, yeah, I would have
Shit.
said no to him.
Shit.
I don't like him. I don't like him. Even when he was at Wolves, and
Mate,
I don't like
Wolves,
him. as a
they
player.
went backwards. Yeah, they went to a back two under what's his face before he got sacked. He got binned off, and they went to Everton. Guess what? They went backwards. He got binned off when Sean Dyche came in.
He plays in the back three. Yeah, he plays in the back three.
That's what I said. So yeah. Anyway, league table. Ipswich dropped points. Obviously, start of the week. I'm guilty of doing this. I'm like, if we don't win this game, I'm worried Ipswich will beat Birmingham. We win the game of football. Obviously, the gap to Leicester's still huge. Let's wait on that. But 7 points now on Ipswich. It's very much doable. I know they've got a game in hand against Rotherham, but that means they play 3 games in 7 days. I don't know who they've got on the weekend, but they play Rotherham on Tuesday night. I am actually more confident now after 15 games played that, do you know what? 7 points is feck all. It's feck all, is it?
So is 12. 12 is catchable in
nothing.
this league. In this
Because
league, it's
it is.
catchable.
This is what I don't get with some Leeds fans saying, no, the top
One
two,
season.
they're gone. They're gone.
It's me.
You only need to look at your own club a few seasons ago when we were 10 points clear and all of a sudden Forest were like, hello.
But Burnley last year were like, I think like 11 points off Sheffield United at
Bromwell,
one point. And they finished like 15 points above them. So they caught by like 30.
Yeah,
I
it's
know,
easy.
Oh,
I
can
know.
happen.
They play Swansea, by the way. Ipswich.
There's so many games on top of each other at Christmas though. They're the ones where you start dropping city points, and then you get into that, that rhythm of not winning games because you got stuck in a slump coming out of Christmas. So, and again, I keep saying it, there will teams are going to be affected by January, likes of Sunderland, the likes of Ipswich. If you've got a good player, Jack Clark is going to be looked at by teams, 100%. Ipswich will be the same. They don't have lots of money. If someone comes in with a decent offer for one of their players, that can affect their squad completely. So a lot can change in the next couple of months. Like it can swing a completely different way. I still expect Middlesbrough to be in the mix of this at the end as well. I think they're a very good side. I think Carrick's a good manager.
Southampton, I think a lot of us are sleeping on as well. They're just a point behind us now.
Yeah, cut right up.
Yeah,
Still some good teams there, but I think some of the teams that are there will fall away. And I think Ipswich are catchable.
Yeah, absolutely.
And what I like is we've played them all away as well, all the top teams.
Exactly.
Yeah, man,
And that is another factor. We've played the top teams away already. We've done it. And we've
They've
got
got
6
to come to
points out
Ellen
of
Road to get 3 points, and we haven't lost at Ellen Road yet, have we? So it's like,
and they have tough away games coming up, especially in the winter. December and January. And January, that I see people saying that we may lose our best players, but I don't think the ownership is a selling. It's not a selling ownership. It's not a selling. Probably the only one who may go is Nyonto.
Look how much money we turned down in the summer. 20 million for Chris Somerville, offers of over 20 million from Melier. We had a 25 million pound bid from Dortmund for Jorginho Rutter. We had 22 million pound bid from Everton for Nanto, and we said no to all of them. The only ones we've let go were the ones we didn't have a say in, that we had to let go. Either their relegation release clause fee, like Adams, was activated, and you're out of the conversation completely. They ring you to say we're activating the clause. That's it, done. You're out. So and the loanee guys that had that clause to get out. Outside of that, every player that was approached that Leeds didn't have a clause for, Leeds said no. And I don't see why the 49ers would now choose being third in the league.
Want to leave either, Joe.
No player
will want to leave.
That's my. I just hope none of them kick a fuss up. I just
They
hope
won't, man.
No, they won't.
We don't
They're
need
not in a
that.
position to.
The two things that
They've seen what happens now, haven't they? Sorry, Joe. They've seen what happens now when they kick a fuss up. They end up running around the pitch on their own. So
yeah.
Well, the one for me is that and again, it's all rumor stuff at the moment, but it's starting to pop up. You've heard potentially Nanto's agent looking at clubs now he doesn't want to stick around. And at this point, I'd be like, fine, all right then.
Yeah, same. I would.
Off you pop, pal. But Romano won't stop talking about Chris Somerville, and that leads me to think there's information going to him from his agent, because in the last 3 weeks he's had 3 separate interviews with Caught Offside where he's mentioned Chris Somerville leaving Leeds in January, and the player's going to do a U-turn and will look to leave the club. I would be shocked if he looks to leave the club, and I'd be shocked if the club even considered selling him, who one of the most impactful players in this division this year. So they're the only two that I'm slightly worried about, but I think the club will do the right thing. I think they'll probably say with Nanto, look, if you're going to kick up a fuss again, just go. And I think with Somerville, they'll just be like, you're not going anywhere. That's the end of the story. Stay where you are.
I mean, it could have been looking at new contracts and everything, bro. We know what goes on. they'll probably go to him. Listen, here's a new bumper contract on top of what? Because some of them won't be on much. If I'm being totally honest, he came through as an under. I don't think he signed a new deal. I'll have a look actually, but it'll be all that going on. There is not a chance. The way that this club tried to keep all the Sinisterra till the fucking last couple of hours, told Nonto you're not going anywhere. There's no way they then go to our best player outside of Rutter. Yeah, okay, we'll sell you. No way they do it. No
it's also
way.
in their interest, they're having a good season apart from Nonto probably. Because apart from the injury side, he needs to find his momentum and his form back. They're having a good season. They're showing what they can do. And let's take the example of Gyökeres, He decided to stay at Coventry. And they had a brilliant season. In the end, Coventry, they get promoted. And Coventry sold him to Sporting Lisbon for a huge sum. And he's doing bits, there in Lisbon for Sporting now. So it's in your interest to stay at Leeds to finish this season in the Championship, keep doing good numbers. And if you get promoted, you're back in the Premier League as a Premier League player and you can have an improved contract probably in your position.
Yeah, for sure.
The only one is I think. I'm worried.
I've just had a look there on Coolmedia, and according to them, he's on 15 grand a week. They'll give him more money, you know what I mean? And he deserves more money, let's be honest. He deserves increasing, definitely. For sure.
And I think, just to get back to your point about the league table, mate, I'll say it with my chest like I did about beating Leicester. We finished top 2. And I don't want people to think that's a disservice to Leicester or especially Ipswich, who are, the more catchable, I think, in everyone's opinion. But I just think that this squad is that good with such good a manager. I do think the 49ers will also strengthen in January, like you said, Joe, by at least filling those 2 loan slots. I say it now, we get promoted. Whether we catch Leicester or not for first is, very, very debatable. They're an extremely good team, but we finished at least second. And I think third and above, as much as Southampton are on coattails, I think that starts being gapped.
Get these international breaks out of the way. And then, because if you look at the international windows, the run of form between the last 2 breaks was win, loss, win, win, win. And now we're win, loss, win, win. So be Plymouth, you've done the exact same thing. The international breaks seem to stall us in this progress a little bit. We come out of the international breaks and we're a little slow and then we lose a game stupidly. But I think if you get the international breaks out of the way now, and then I think you'll see a really strong run. I think this team has a big run in them if they can get a bunch of games together. And I think it'll be in around December, Christmas as well.
Yeah,
100%. And listen, we've got 7 games in December, so I think we're well placed.
A lot of points.
To really.
It's a lot of stress.
It is. But look, folks, we will leave it there, not least because my son's woke up as well, so I'm waiting for him to come through the door. So, listen, folks, thanks everyone for watching. 800 people watching, which is great. Make sure you smash a like on the video. Make sure you check everyone else's content out as well. They've all done post-match reviews, player ratings, whatever you like. It's all there for your viewing pleasure. So please do go and check them out. Check out the sponsors, Fantasy 5 and Coolmedia as well. And what day is it? Tomorrow, Sunday. Yeah, might be back. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. So I don't think there's any. Yeah, pure vibes at the minute. I'll find something to talk about, I'm sure. But yeah, listen. It's been a great weekend and more of the same moving forward, please. So we'll leave it there, folks. Thanks as always for watching. Cheers. Bye.